Welcome to the Chateau Diaries, where no, Lalande hasn't suddenly got a much better view. We're actually standing in the Greek amphitheatre in Taormina in Sicily. I brought my mother here. She has been dying to see this. She gets very emotional about ancient ruins, but this is not a ruin. This theatre is 2,500 years old and it is still in use today.
I feel 2,000 years looking at me.
It is the perfect piece of Greek stagecraft. The Greeks built their amphitheatres with a jaw-dropping view, and as you can see, this is absolutely no exception. It's framing the mountain in one arch and the sea in the other. It's breathtaking. They used natural features, so they would use a slope that was coming down, and they in fact carved this straight out of the rock itself, and that way they created perfect theatres with wonderful acoustic, because the natural rock that was already there was creating the acoustic that they needed. Originally, up to 10,000 people could have sat here watching performances with the dramatic view, a little hazy today, of Mount Etna in the background. So imagine a Greek tragedy is going on, and in the background there is a looming, menacing volcano with smoke billowing from it. They really thought about all of these things when planning their theatres. It was such a perfect place for it that when the Romans came later, they decided that they were going to give it a bit of a renovation. It was about 500-600 years old at the time, so about the same as us renovating Lalande, actually. They came in and thought, no, this is a good spot. We'll carry on with this. And they added the scenic backdrop with all of the columns. And this gives you an idea of what it would have looked like, that backdrop, under the Romans. So it would have been quite a bit more magnificent than it is today, though frankly, if you ask me, it would have blocked too much of the view. The Greeks kept the view more visible. They used it as part of the natural wonder of the performance, and I think I prefer that idea. And they also modified it so it wasn't just for theatre performances, but it was also used for gladiatorial combats and for animal hunts. It all got a little bit bloody under the Romans, and they changed a lot of things downstairs under the stage, so they had rooms for the gladiators and for the animals. And now it is still being used. Elton John's performed here, and Ennio Morricone. People can still come and enjoy this breathtaking view whilst watching a performance.
I won't go. I won't. Stephanie, come and help me. Come and help me.
There's already drama being performed here. I knew there would be the minute we arrived. You made it, Jerry.
Yeah, I gave my tenner.
Well, we have made it to the stage. Tonight, the Chateau Diaries will be performed live in the amphitheatre of Taormina to the masses of at least 20 people who are gathered here today. Can you imagine how busy it must be here in summer, and really hot to walk to as well? In fact, travelling in November is perfect in Europe for precisely that reason. It's 18 degrees, it's a lovely day, we've got our coats on, but it's cool to walk everywhere around this very hilly town, and it feels as though we have the amphitheatre practically to ourselves. I mean, personally, if I was giving a live performance here, I would be a little bit worried about more of these falling down. You're not joining us on stage? We've got a performance going on here and 3 members of our cast have wandered off.
For one night only.
The fragments of the original theatre are so beautiful, and it always stuns me to see something 2,500 years old with the same egg and dart moulding that many people still have in their homes today. Truly nothing changes.
What I love as well is seeing this column. I have never seen a twisted column that I know of in real life.
Yes, we're much more used to this sort of column, aren't we?
What makes me so excited about this is that in the 18th century, the Grand Tour, the idea of the Grand Tour started, and there became much more interest in the classics, and people started visiting and they started sketching things, and coloured sketches made their way all over Europe, and it influenced design so much. For example, we've got an 18th century daybed in the Petit Salon, where Natty has got her office, the Red Room, and it's got legs exactly like this. The twisted column even made it into French legs of an 18th century daybed, and I think that's wonderful, seeing how things progress, and inspiration you find everywhere.
And all of that came from the revival of the Grand Tour, people travelling, getting so interested, and new archaeological finds being made. This is wonderful. This is actually, I mean, it's in Greek, obviously, but it's a reserved seat. The seat was reserved for Philistus, and it was row 4, seat 2, which I think sounds like a very good seat. And clearly, Philistus had quite a lot of money if he was able to reserve seating here. We saw a Japanese woman taking a very nice photo here, and Mummy is now going to recreate the photo. Okay, Mummy, a little bit more. Work it, work it, work it.
And introduce
You've got
Percy.
more. I know you can give more, Mummy.
Introduce Percy.
Son.
Mummy doesn't know I'm filming this. She thinks it's for a still photo. Go on, Percy. You can do this.
Of course I can.
Oh,
Oh, there we
perfect.
go. Oh, steady on, that's new trousers.
Okay, that's enough.
Beautiful. The Japanese woman who gave Mummy the idea for the photo in the first place just walked past dying of laughter.
Nice laugh, she was saying. It's so cute.
But of
it's so
course,
sweet.
how could it be anything else? They're legends. From here you can also look down into the beautiful, picture-perfect town of Taormina, just on the coast, and we're going to walk down into the town now for a delicious lunch. I definitely think we've earned it, having walked all the way up here. Well, it's not a bad stroll down to lunch, is it?
Beautiful.
Quite a good way to start the day.
Working up an appetite.
I've worked up the appetite. Look at this view with the palm trees against the rock. It's perfection. In Taormina, again, just as in Palermo, we're seeing a lot of these plant pots, which are shaped as male and female heads. They're called testa di Moro, which is Moorish heads. My goodness, that's a very beautiful pair there. And you might wonder where the story comes from. And as all things in Sicily, it has a dramatic, passionate tale behind it. The story is that there was a Sicilian woman, a young Sicilian woman, who lived in one of those narrow alleyways with balconies where you could gossip and chat to your neighbours across the street. One day she was looking down from her balcony and she saw a beautiful Moor. In this case, Moor just means a man from Arabia or from North Africa. He was spectacular and they fell into a passionate love affair, which is the way things often go in Sicilian stories. Unfortunately, she then discovered that he was planning to leave to return to his home country, back to his wife. In a fit of rage, she chopped his head off. And then I presume she wondered what to do with it. She was heartbroken. She didn't want to get rid of it. So she put it into a plant pot and planted basil over it, which she watered with her tears. The basil grew so abundantly that all of the neighbours said, actually, could we have maybe a pot shaped as a human head? Maybe that will make our basil grow a little bit better. And ever since, basil has been a symbol of love and of mourning here in Sicily. And you see the tradition continues to this day. There's still the Moorish heads used as plant pots on the balconies. No heads on this one, just lovely lemons. These are all spectacular, and all of the pots as well. Philip likes the one with the prickly pears on, but my favourites are definitely this pair. I think they are stunning. We've made it down to the main street through town, which I see they've started decorating for Christmas as well. We have found a lovely spot. I'm having shrimp ravioli with crispy courgette. You're on catch of the day, Percy.
Looking good.
Looking very good. Jerry is on
A little touch of Italy here. We've got the lasagna.
lasagna bolognese.
Bolognese, spaghetti bolognese.
Philip, ooh,
Tuna.
delicious. And Mummy, ooh, fried catch of the day. Very nice. And I am having a cocktail at lunch because it's a holiday and because of the name of the cocktail. It's not called a Negroni, it's called Count Negroni Travels to Sicily. How could I say no to that? So it's made with gin from Mount Etna and with sweet Marsala Sicilian wine. Very good. Thank you, Jerry, for the solidarity that is lacking in the others around this table.
This is why.
Is it a two-spoon sort of dessert?
It's a 2-spoon.
2-spoon apple crumble. Everyone else has forsaken us, but I'm with you, Jerry. Tiramisu.
Oh, you will regret it.
A lifetime on the hips.
Exactly.
I'll still be feeling it at 80. After that delicious and, in the end, very late lunch, we have decided to just stroll through the streets of Taormina. Just so beautiful. And we're all looking down below. We cannot believe how high up we are. It's extraordinary. We've walked down from the amphitheatre here. And yet, still so far above the sea. And for those of you who have read the incredible novel The Leopard, which I love, or who are, like Philip and I at the moment, watching the new Leopard on Netflix, you will know that a huge part of Sicily's history, recent history, was the unification of Italy, when it became part of all of Italy. And in fact, the square that we are standing in now is named the Square of the 9th of April, the day that news reached Sicily that Garibaldi was hoping to unify Italy. And on this square stands a beautiful Baroque church with an older tower, bell tower, probably built on medieval foundations. And this, to all of you who follow everything that's happening at Lalande, is the Church of St. Joseph, just like the Chapel of St. Joseph at Lalande. So I think we should definitely make a little pilgrimage to go and look inside. The town is quite crowded at this time of day, even in winter. But as you can see inside the beautiful Church of St. Joseph, there's just Mummy and Percy. And I think up ahead, yes, there's Jerry, just on the left. It is the most spectacular Baroque interior, and a perfect example of Sicilian Baroque. It is the most joyful interior, and if we look up we can see scenes of quite rustic domestic life for the Holy Family. There's Joseph, Mary, and Jesus as a child, surrounded not only by sheep, but by even a lion. And it looks as though wild dogs are following too, and yet everyone's living in harmony because he is there. And in the scroll work you can see little cupids and acanthus leaves. It's so delicate and bright. And St. Joseph has long been the patron saint of travellers and workers. So you can imagine in a town like this, known for its fishing and for its tourists, he is the perfect patron saint. And as we're walking out of the church, I am loving the Christmas decorations in Café Wunderbar, and it's giving me lots of ideas for Lalande. Because in just a couple of days, Advent will be starting back at the Chateau de Lalande. I wanted to show you where we're staying in each of the three places we're going to, Palermo, Taormina and Noto, because I've chosen very different styles of places in each one. The first was obviously a slightly decrepit palazzo, but as it was in the past. In France, we say dans son jus, in its own juice. So it had these beautiful frescoes that were untouched. It was as though time had stood still. But here in Taormina, we have a completely different type of apartment. It feels quite old-worldy English, almost 1950s beach house. Very modern, but with a few antiques thrown in, and even a secrétaire. I think it's so charming, and I will put the link to it below. This wasn't sponsored, but I just thought it'd be nice for you all to know. It has the most beautiful view, and it's a pity because obviously it's winter. We haven't had much use for the terrace, but I imagine that in summer it's absolutely lovely. That's Jerry's room and the bathroom ahead. And Mummy and Percy have a room with a view. Oh my goodness, they've been waking up to this in the morning here in Taormina. In terms of history and atmosphere, the first apartment wins. In terms of comfort, working facilities and an extraordinary view, this one wins. I don't know which I prefer. I've loved both for different reasons. And you'll see when we go to Noto next, we'll be staying somewhere very different again. And now this evening we're all strolling back into town just to enjoy the lights and see the town at night, because I think we've eaten enough for the week. The town is breathtakingly beautiful, and even more so than the Christmas lights. I can't imagine how packed it must be in the height of summer. That's love, isn't it? Right there. Mummy's found her favourite street. Favourite because no one else could visit her up there. Look at that, it's an actual street.
Sì, Vicolo
Yeah.
Streeto.
Vicolo Stretto.
Vicolo Streeto.
I'm 2 more Sicilian pastries away from not being able to visit my mother anymore. And that's why you like it, isn't it, Mummy? It's perfect. This town is so wonderful. But it's not one size fits all. It's 10 o'clock at night. We're strolling along. And in November, it feels as though we practically have Taormina to ourselves. There's very few people walking along in the street. And we're standing looking at the view out to sea, all of the beautiful lights. It is magical. I know that people don't immediately think sunny beach place in November, but we can really recommend Taormina at this time of year. It is magical.